Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Donna Feazell, and I'm your host of Donna's Edge television, radio, and podcast talk show. Thank you so much for watching every day, Monday through Friday, beginning at 2 p.m. on the Eastern time zone, as I get to ride home with you in the afternoon. You may find us on television up in North Alabama, close to Huntsville. Channel 182 is Charter Communications, part of the Spectrum Network. You can find us there. You can also find us syndicated on Abundant Television, found on Roku, Apple TV, and now on Fire. Don't forget the podcast on thenewscasters.com. And the biggest country radio station in South Carolina, WZLA. Make sure you can listen that way as well. And another way, we're going to be talking about that in just a few minutes. I've got Sam Anthony with me right now. And Sam, you've got a huge busy life. So I had to capture your time like as quickly as I possibly could so that I could have you on the show today to talk about your news.
How are you?
Oh, man. Yeah, we're going to talk about that today. And let me tell you why. I'm getting email from people. By the way, Donna at donnasedge.com, Donna at donnasedge.com. The email I'm getting from people who can't watch me at 2 because they're busy at work. They're busy doing stuff, and they're glad to know there are other avenues they can watch the show, which is pretty cool. You know, you got social media, you got Yournews, you got all these wonderful things that are happening, and you're part of that world. So why did you get into this?
You know, Donna, I got into this years ago. We believed that, the newspaper industry was, going to collapse over time because of the internet. So we set out to create a platform that would replace the daily newspaper in every market. Never in a million years did I think the media was actually lying. So this is going back a while ago. I became... It hit me right between the eyes when Trump got elected in 2016, and all of a sudden the media turned on him. I went, oh my God, they are lying. Okay. And so from there on out, it's just gotten worse. He calls them out on it. Then they double down on the lies. And even when they get caught lying, I mean, it's become so ridiculous. Well, the good news is, none of them are going to survive. And, as I explain to people, it has nothing to do with them lying. It's an antiquated product. It's the reason that you don't get in a horse and buggy, right? It's because you have a car to get into. Somebody created something that replaced
for that. Yes.
Yes. So, the good news is, what YouTube is doing to television, we're doing to local news reporting. So on YouTube, you could have a show, I could have a show, anybody could have a show, and whether they went to journalism school or not is irrelevant. With us, you don't have to be a journalist or go to journalist school to become a journalist on our platform. And this void is what's going to ultimately replace the mainstream media, citizen-powered press. And so that, to me, is the most important thing, because like we discussed before we came on, you just get tired of all the stuff that is happening in America. And, how we got here was a direct result of the mainstream media and them pushing an agenda. So the good news is we're going to take back the press, and it's going to be the people that do it. Mm-hmm. And now once you start shedding light on something, you can't take it away. So the good news is ultimately what we do will replace it. But now we'll be able to get the stories out that matter most to every community. And for the audience, I run a platform. It's called Yournews.com. We're a daily, like the Chicago Tribune or the Miami Herald. It would look like that, but we're in every city in the United States. So we're hyper local. So we could serve news to a city, to a county, to a market, state, regional, or national. So it's a complete citizen-powered press. Everybody can have a voice. We have a monetization model. So if you're somebody that wants to get an opinion published, post a classified, whatever it is, you go to Yournews, you click the green button at the top, you create an account, you can submit content to us. And Donna, I have people, and this because you had her on, that do NASCAR news, Formula One. I have people that do movie reviews, local restaurant reviews, theater critics. I have PR firms, nonprofits. We have over 6,000. Since we spoke, I think we're pushing 6,100. So we probably added almost 100 people.
Mm-hmm. That is awesome. And I'm going to tell you, the timing is perfect. And I'll tell you why. Okay. So there is a local radio, where it was a local radio station in my area right here who was bought out by someone bigger. The local folks right here feel like they've been left out. And that's why they like coming on the show. And it's like, wow, we thought it was going to be bigger and better, but what's happened is we're no longer allowed to be on the station because now they're in the big city. They're big, they've outgrown the local folks here, and we all feel kind of left out. I mean, we just do it. It's happening all across the country where a big conglomerate is coming up, and they're buying all the small ones, but turning them into the big ones. And again, you're left out if you're local.
Well, the reason is costs, right? So it's like syndicated content, and it's all part of it. So they eliminate people, keep the costs down. And so, yeah, it's really more, I guess you could say not hyper local market, but more market as in like, if you're in Chicago or Dallas, it'd be reporting on the whole Dallas area versus a small station reporting on just a specific community. And that's just the way everything's been headed. Everything has been rolled up. I mean, I remember in 1980 where there was over 500 independent news outlets. You have 6 now, 6 that control everything. So this is where all news is headed, or has it, because it's there now. But now what's happening is audience share is diminishing. God, I had a conversation with somebody. They were telling me yesterday that the newspaper they used to write for, I remember, was someplace close to Buffalo, New York. It was in a smaller market, smaller than Buffalo, but they said they had a reach of, I think he said it was 250,000 papers were distributed. The paper still exists today, and they're distributing 9,000. Did you hear what I just said?
Yes.
From 250,000 print to 9,000.
Yeah, and most of those people are using those in the garden like I do. I mean, I collect newspapers.
I was blown away because I'm like, you don't even have a business anymore. I mean, I had an article that was submitted to me that has now gotten in the last week over 100,000 views from one article. And you're talking about 9,000 papers in a community size, probably has, 750,000 if you're delivering 250,000 of them. And if you're delivering a quarter, that might have been the circulation, which means they could have been delivering like 70, 80,000. It was read by 3 people, but he said they were printing 250,000 of them. So if you're printing 250,000 of them, that's a lot of papers. Maybe they leave them out of place. So anyway, it's all imploding is what I'm getting at. It's all going to creator-based platforms, Donna. It's because it's so, YouTube has, we've talked about this, 60 million channels. You've got, Rumble, which has 250,000 people that are creators. You have, TikTok and Instagram, which have over 100 million people. And they're all promoting their own shows that are hosted on these platforms. So that's why the money goes where the eyeballs are. So what I have is 6,000 independent news reporters right now. And eventually I'll have 16,000 and then 60,000 and 160,000. I mean, the scale here is astronomical. And then this is where all the money goes to. It goes to where the people are. So my reach last month was just under a couple million people. And so if I want to double my traffic, I double my creator base. That's it.
That's all you do. And let me tell you, people, you need to use your imagination. So there's a guy on TikTok. All he does is give dad advice. That's all he does. And he has so many people who watch this. A lot of folks grew up without their dads, or their dad was there, but he worked all the time. He didn't have time to teach them anything. So this guy will say, and there was one that I saw, and he was just teaching a guy, the guy had to wear a tie to a job interview. He had no earthly idea. He did not, his dad was absent from him growing up. His mom was trying to show him how to tie the tie. Well, he catches the guy, the dad, who does the dad advice. He learns how to tie a tie for a job interview. And
that's it. And he's got hundreds of thousands of followers. I had somebody call me and asked me, do you know who this woman is? I said, no. So they said, look her up. She's on, I think it was TikTok. She had a little over 1 million followers on that one thing. And she, talks about day-to-day life. I don't know what it is. I mean, I didn't follow her, but but this is where it's all headed, Donna. And so, as I explained to somebody, they said to me, well, for editorial review, like, how do you know what's factual and what's not factual? I said, well, I've been doing this for a lot of years. Nobody's ever submitted fake news to me. Any news reporter is never going to put up fake stuff. Will it happen? I'm sure at some point it will, but it's real simple. The public lets you know, number one. Number two, you don't follow that person. You follow the people that you resonate with. So, I have people that do cooking related stuff, right? That do movie reviews. So why would somebody lie about a movie? You may disagree with the movie review and say, no, I liked it. And if you didn't, but people follow them. And they build an audience. They're just leveraging our platform for distribution and monetization. So this is where it's all headed. Like you said, somebody on TikTok could have millions of followers and they could talk about stuff that has no relevance to your world, but to somebody else's, it does.
Oh, yeah. Somebody who didn't grow up with a dad would love to watch this. I mean, it's just, there's so many things that just use your imagination. Gardening and I think I'm going to be heading that way with your network. The gardening. Yeah.
I would love it. So, we have a home and garden section. We could publish that stuff national.
I've just about decided to do that because most of the questions for me are about gardening, food preservation, that kind of thing. I've got a lot of preppers that I follow. And so, and I would love to interview every one of those preppers. I'm just telling you from experience, the smartest people on earth are the preppers. They got it going on. They can survive. If we lose electricity, they're going to be teaching classes to the rest of us on how to survive. I'm just telling you.
Well, you're going to have to go there because it ain't going to be on YouTube.
But in their local community, I'm telling you.
Yes, you're right. I mean, they're prepared for something that, could happen or may not happen. I don't know. But if it does happen, we got to go over there and take all their stuff. Right.
Yeah, but let me tell you this one guy I spoke with is so interesting in what he says. And he said, something, I have an old car. I don't want a new car. And I said, why do you have an old car? July, what are you talking about? And he said, well, all the new cars are computerized. Something happens to the grid, you're not going to be able to drive your car. I mean, you're stuck. He said, but I've got my old clunker that everybody's going to be wanting me to take rides to the doctor's office and everything else if something happens. And he just tinkers with it, and I told him, I said, you need to do a show on that, tinkering with your jalopy, and how you keep it working. And he does. And my husband used to be the shade tree mechanic for the family back in the day. I mean, if they were having any kind of problem, they'd call Phil. Phil, the car won't do whatever. He would just go look at it and go, well, it's because you need a new carburetor. And then he would just do all this stuff he can't do to our newer cars because you have to have them in a shop somewhere with a computer attached to them.
Listen, cars are a big market, right? That's what they weren't. They wouldn't have car shows. I mean, all over the United States. I mean, drove by the golf course the other day and there was a car show before it. People were out there standing around looking at all these beautiful cars. And I do agree. I hate the fact that these new cars have all these cameras all over them. It's like, who's watching me? They can hear every word you say. I'm almost wondering if the next car I get is going to be like a 1985, or 1965 or 75, something older, simply because I'm tired of it.
I am too. And my concern is a self-driving car. Okay. What if the car gets mad at me? What if it doesn't like something I've said? What if I've said something I don't like, liberal content on whatever? The car is going to turn against me and it's going to ram me into a tree. So you see what I'm saying?
I have a gentleman that handles my website. He does my database stuff. He's really bright when it comes to computers and writing code. Mm-hmm. And he even said to me, he said, I would never get in one of those cars. He goes, it's a computer and computers crash. And when the computer crashes, it's no big deal. But if you're in a car and the computer in a car crashes, it's going to crash you. He goes, I wouldn't get in one of those things if my life depended on it. You're better off just driving your own vehicle.
You make me feel better. I've not overthunk it, in other words.
Yeah.
There you go.
So
We got to go into a commercial break.
Go
Can you
ahead.
believe this? We'll be right back in just a few minutes. Everybody hang around. Twin City Used Car Sales has been serving drivers in the Northeast Alabama area for years with a quality selection of late model used cars, SUVs, and pickup trucks. On top of our extensive selection and competitive prices, we offer professional auto financing services for used car buyers of all credit levels. Whether you've just begun your search or you're ready to secure your next vehicle, at Twin City Used Car Sales, you will drive away with the vehicle of your dreams. The sales and finance staff at Twin City Used Car Sales looks forward to serving you, and you can apply for financing online before your visit to our used dealership in Gadsden, Alabama. Check us out on the web at twincityusedcars.com or go by our location at 901 First Avenue, Gadsden, Alabama. We sincerely look forward to serving you. You know, finding the right home isn't just about bedrooms and square footage. It's about comfort, security, and the feeling you get the moment you walk through the door. That's why so many families across Greenwood and the Lakelands area trust Jenny Ferguson with Keller Williams. And I'll tell you from personal experience, Jenny was my realtor, and she truly cares about her clients. Jenny takes the time to listen, to understand what matters most, and to guide you every step of the way, whether you're buying your first home, upgrading, or ready to sell. Because this isn't just a transaction, it's your life. With local knowledge, personal care, and a commitment to getting it right, Jenny Ferguson makes the process simple and even enjoyable. So if you're thinking about buying or selling, now's the time to make your move. Call Jenny Ferguson with Keller Williams in Greenwood today and take the next step toward a place you'll truly love coming home to. Shine your style at Kiss My Glass right here in the Anderson Mall. There's a place where style meets sparkle. At Kiss My Glass, every piece is handcrafted, custom designed, and made to shine just like you. Owner Beth Gibson brings creativity to life with stunning custom tumblers, gifts, and one-of-a-kind pieces you won't find anywhere else. Look for the perfect gift or something uniquely you, from bold and glamorous to simple and elegant. There's something for every style, so stop by, get inspired, and leave with something unforgettable. Kiss My Glass inside the Anderson Mall, Anderson, South Carolina, where your sparkle begins. Be sure to check out Kiss My Glass on Facebook for updates and specials and gift ideas. Good afternoon, Sunshine. Medical Minute brought to you by Dr. Chuck with Lakeland's Chiropractic, where an ounce of prevention is worth what? A pound of cure. So what is the Beamer? Okay, now the Beamer uses very gentle pulse to electromagnetic signals. This will stimulate healthy muscles and it supports the temporary blood flow. Now let's talk Beamer and circulation support. Now the Beamer gently supports natural circulation in healthy muscles. Now that's what I call natural health. Thank you so much for watching Your Medical Minute, brought to you by Dr. Chuck. You know who he's with. He's with Lakeland's Chiropractic, where an ounce of prevention is worth what? A pound of cure. I hope you have a super duper awesome rest of the afternoon. You take care.
I'm excited to announce our Christmas extravaganza is finally here. Get this season's flannel sheets for as low as $59.98. They won't last long, so get them while you can. Our famous My Slippers, they haven't been on sale for over a year. Regularly $119.98, now only $59.98. Our 6-piece towel sets are back in stock with extremely limited quantities, only $29.98. With hundreds of MyPillow products, there's something for everyone on your Christmas list. Bathrobes, duvets, quilts, down comforters, and so much more. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to save on all MyPillow products. For example, flannel sheets for as low as $59.98. Or our 6-piece towel sets, just $29.98. But that's not all. I'm extending our 60-day money-back guarantee until March 1st of 2025. Plus, all orders over $75 or more ship absolutely free.
Donna's Designs offers a line of handmade memorial, wedding, and keepsake jewelry that launched back in 1970. I'm a self-trained jewelry designer, and I will work closely with you to create unique designs you can love and treasure for years to come. Whether that be flowers that were used in a funeral arrangement or stones you found on the beach at a memorable trip, call me at 256-659-4319, and let's think of the possibilities. Okay, we are back. My name is Donna, and I am your host of Donna's Edge Television Radio Podcast Talk Show. Thank you so much for watching every day, Monday through Friday, beginning at 2 p.m. But now, if you don't have the schedule for that, I don't get mad. You can find me on yournews.com. So let's do it that way, okay? It's for your convenience. And we've been talking about this for a long time. I love Andy Griffith. I know, Sam, I have this really horrible, boring life, but I love Andy Griffith reruns. I can actually quote the shows. And so I may not be able to watch on whatever channel at 7 o'clock because I'm probably going to be recording shows, doing editing, something. I'll be doing something, maybe even working out in the garden. So I just want to be able to watch it when I want to. And I think that's why you're really onto something good, Sam.
Thank you.
Yeah. And so many different avenues also. The NASCAR. I mean, that one is, I never really thought that much about NASCAR. I grew up around Talladega, Alabama, and I guess we saw it so much. We were just kind of like, But I am now. Because of your person who actually has a show about it. And it's a female, and she's doing phenomenal.
Yeah, well, and so she doesn't have a show. She does written news, but she puts video clips in there. But NASCAR's massive. I mean, I don't think it's as big as like soccer, but for the United States, I think it's the number one sport. Right? It's huge.
It got started, like people were bringing in liquor, and that's how the whole NASCAR thing got started. They were racing to get away from the cops.
Is that how it got started?
Look up the history. Yeah, I guess that's always, and you always think, just rednecks and all this kind. No, everybody likes NASCAR. I mean, everyone.
Have you ever been to one?
No, I never been to one. Even though I lived right in the back door of one, I never went. It was always crowded.
They're exciting, especially when you start, right? Because they're so loud, and when they take off, all you have I don't know how many cars are out there, 50 cars, but they all come right by, and it's just loud. And then they start to split up, as they get around the track a few times, and now they're all stretched all over the place. But then, it's exciting to go. I will tell you, I've been to probably 3 or 4 of them. But, when it comes to our business, the creators, they have passions about things, whether it's like you do, gardening, or like Sarah does with, NASCAR, or you could have, I have Renee and other people that do movie reviews. It's whatever your passion is, and that's what our platform is all about. It's hyper local, but we have the ability to distribute to broader geographies. And basically, what I do is inevitable. The legacy media is not going to survive, Donna. And so, like I said, it's not going to survive because it's an antiquated product. What'll replace it will be a decentralized platform, hyper local, which is what I do. It just so happens we're the only player in our space. Yeah. So I'd like to keep it that way and continue on. And anybody out there that wants to report local news in your community, we have a monetization model. You do not need to be a journalist. You need to be able to have common sense and tell the truth. You could leverage AI to write your stories. You plug in the notes, and once you get the article the way you want, you could submit it. And this is where news is headed. We're a people-powered press. And it's really got to be the people that go out and actually report the news, because I don't know if any of you are aware of this, but the mainstream media ain't helping out.
No, they're not. I got to tell you a story, though. This is back in the day. This is 1970s. We had a local newspaper. It was called the Albertville Reporter. And so there were women in good communities, in different communities, who would write articles. And it was a weekly thing. So there was one lady, her name was Mrs. Alexander. I forgot what her first name was. And she wrote the Gethsemane News, community news. And it was so, we would all, everybody read it. It's just some lady who had never, worked for a newspaper or anything like that whatsoever. And again, this is in the 1970s. We couldn't wait for Thursday to come to read Mrs. Alexander's community news. And she hit it. Everybody... One funny thing, though, she had a son-in-law. She did put this in there one time. It was supposed to be a surprise birthday party, and she put that in the article that the son-in-law was
for the surprise.
Everybody we thought that was funny. But the point is, people like local, they like regional, and they like national. They want to know what's going on around them. But really, people want to know what people are nosy by nature. They want to know what their neighbors are doing.
And now they can report on it. Yes, well, I agree. I mean, look, people come on our platform and they always want to be the national news reporter. And I always tell people, for what? You're competing with everybody. I mean, anybody can if there was football playing today, it is so simple to find out the results of the Monday Night Football game, right? I mean, you just look online, it'll tell you the results. But who's reporting the high school game in your market, Donna? Nobody. And that's the demand that needs to be filled. And whoever fills that void is going to make all the money because they're going to get all the followers. And that's
too. When you're reporting local football, I'm just telling you, everything has an agenda to it if you don't keep it local and in the community. Because if I'm working for a national newspaper, first of all, they're not going to think it's worthy to put it in there. Although Abbeville, South Carolina, their high school football is like number one in the state. And they keep that title. They keep it going. We're really proud of it around here. But the point is it's local and it's important to us. It's important to us in our community. And again, the radio station is owned by a bigger conglomerate now. We're not seeing anything local.
No, you're not going to. That happens all over the place. They acquire these stations and they kind of make them more regional, or I don't know about national, but that's just to cut costs. So the local news reporting is really what people want to see, and that's the void that needs to be filled. Mm-hmm. And that's why I tell people, why cover this? You're competing with everybody else. Nobody's covering this. Mm-hmm. And once you start covering this, everybody will come to you to consume that information. It's kind of like the story you told me with the woman who had the column, right? Mm-hmm. The reason you went there was because you were looking for the information that she provided, so she filled that void. Mm-hmm. If somebody else did the same thing, you wouldn't care because you already have her. Mm-hmm. The local news is really the most important. And so that's what we're really looking for. I mean, you could write about whatever you want, but it can even be restaurant reviews, theater critics, right? Local news that's happening in the community that's reported by people in the community. And as I always say, who knows the community better than the people who actually live there?
I'll have to tell you, on Facebook comes in handy sometimes with the traffic. Like if a cow is out, we like knowing that. Because I can know that road I will avoid as I'm going to the big city. I mean, those are things that are really important. It sounds funny to people around the country, but it really is. It's important to us.
That's right. So anybody that's interested in becoming a news reporter on our platform, you go to yournews.com, go down to the bottom of the page. You'll see something that says become a citizen journalist. Click that, scroll down a little bit, fill out the application. It comes in. Once you get approved, you get an email with instructions on how to use it. Very simple.
We got to go, Sam. And I know you've got somewhere you've got to be too.
Wait a little bit. Yeah, but definitely.
How 30 minutes flies by. It just is gone. But thank you again so much for being with you. Everyone loves you. Continue sending emails, guys. If you have an email for Sam in particular, send it to me. Donna at donnasedge.com. Donna at donnasedge.com. If you'd like to be part of that network, it'll be a lot of fun. We'll see you guys later. Take care.
Lowe's knows that the projects you build in spring are the ones you can't wait to share. It's why we make sure you have our best deals with My Lowe's Rewards, and that you get help from people who've
been there,
done that.
Try this.
This spring, we'll help you build something rewarding.
Hey, Stan. What's up? I made you something. Oh, thank you. And I got something for you. You grew these? Of course.
Lowe's knows how to help you spring.
Are you ready?
We all wonder what tomorrow will bring, but the future lays itself at the feet of the prepared and surrenders to the will of the persistent. It's not easy, but today shapes you so you can shape tomorrow. With Northeast Alabama Community College, when the future asks if you're ready, you can answer.
Yes.
Begin your future at Northeast Alabama Community College.